Yo, another day in the lab, baby. So it's always a good day.
Oh,
it's always a good day when we in the lab. You want policing to be better in your communities? The best policing that you can that can happen in any community are people that's actually from the community and that.
Once again, Rick, host BNY podcast, now known as What Effing Week with BNY. Dev, how you feeling, man?
I'm in here.
What's good, comment section?
Yeah.
Do we drag our people down when sometimes they don't deserve it? For sure, absolutely. In this situation, this man deserves every single dragging that we can do because this is not an example of us.
But you got the angles. You got the knowledge of the game, bro.
This is where you're getting at, the IQ.
Down. Like he's telling you what's going on. How he was a bad husband. How he was just doing things his way. He's apologizing to his wife like, yo.
Pat ourselves on the back for that one because we didn't give yourself awards. I mean, who is?
Yeah, no more.
Hey. Yeah, bring that mic closer. Almost missed my big spot right here. Bonaparte, appreciate you as usual.
I'm about to say, come on, man, that's your intro, bro. You can't mix your intro.
Oh man, what a time! What a time!
With shout out to Bonaparte, bro. That's how we do this.
Oh man, Charles County, how's it going?
What up, Charles County?
BNY,
we in here.
What is going on? Co-host, operator, moderator, owner, BNY Network. Rick, I'm back with you again. Give myself a round of applause. I got the board here now, so I can do it.
We can give ourselves a round of applause. We can give our guests a round of applause.
Absolutely.
Upgrades.
Dev, how you feeling, man?
Great. It's your boy Dev, a.k.a. PG Jakes. Same titles under a different name. It's my boy Ricky over here.
Yeah, for sure.
Another night in the lab.
Friday night at that, too, as well.
Friday night.
So this is like, some of y'all don't remember, but I remember back when, probably like 2019, 2020. We did a lot of Friday night podcasts.
Oh, that was the main go-to.
Yeah, it was.
Live, too.
Yeah. Rambunctious.
There was a whole lot going on. Whole lot going on.
Yeah, now we're sitting here interviewing school board candidates. So,
hey,
look at me. I'm wearing a button-up.
You made it.
I'm about to say, look, this is a little bit more sophisticated. I ain't quite got there yet, guys. I'm still kind of
sophisticated.
I'm working on it. Yeah. He got on. Y'all can't see. He got on khakis.
Dude, I got off work and I came right to work. All right,
from work to work.
That's right.
Ain't no days off. And then tomorrow I'll be out coaching my boys. So yeah, we back at it. Obviously, sounds like the audio is doing well. If y'all didn't notice, we changed all the cables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I think last week
it was dropping.
Yeah.
At some random point, it just started dropping out.
It did.
Yeah. And that happens tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us know too as well. I want to make sure we bring you clean audio and video for the night. So
absolutely.
But without further ado, Nicole Kreamer.
Yes.
Kreamer, not Kreamer. Kreamer. Remember from last time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Had to clarify.
It's okay.
Round of applause for you too as well.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Guys, it's great to be back.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt.
It's been like
months.
I came on like in February.
Yeah, but it's been months.
Yeah, you were actually one of the first podcasts we did as far as the election. It was Carlos,
and then me.
Then it was you.
Yeah,
exactly. It was my boy. My guy Harry. In between that, and then we did somebody else to it. Was it? They're probably screaming at me right now. Like, how you figuring?
There's a lot going on. Y'all don't understand. Don't worry about. Don't fault us.
Yeah.
I remember it was in the early part.
Yeah, it definitely. It really was. Cause I remember not too long after that is when you invited us to one of the functions, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was like a school board, or it was like some type of event or whatever.
Yeah,
that was.
So it was. I'm pretty sure. It was
yeah,
like
that was
February.
earlier on. Yeah, absolutely.
October.
Yeah,
full circle, full circle.
I know it's gonna be 8 months till we saw you again. I know we tried a couple times in between, but dates didn't work out.
Yeah, I know your schedule's crazy. I'm glad that happened.
Facts.
Yeah, you should see the inbox. We're still,
I'm sure.
we still got a bunch of emails to respond back to. People,
Facts.
we did not forget about y'all. Let's go through a roll call too as well. Erica, how you doing? Stacy, how you doing? It's good to see you on Monday. Great podcast. If y'all didn't check it out, make sure you check out the podcast with Stacy on Monday. Pascal. I'll call you after the show. I know you hit me up, play a little phone tag, so we'll make sure that happens. Carlos, Amber, and Samisha too as well, running for District 1. Good to see you. Still first political candidate on the podcast. Hey, Carlos kicked it off. Hey,
Shout out to Carlos.
That's right.
One cup in the air for my boy Carlos Childs.
Hey, Carlos trying to put one in the air right now.
What's that, vote question 4 or something like that?
Hey, vote for question 4. Go see Carlos. He'll give you 4 grams too as well.
Oh my God.
Don't, hey. hey, I was joking when I said that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No comment.
We have a school board candidate on. Let's not
I am
get.
running for the school. I do not.
Oh, that side of the room.
Facts,
You
facts,
do your thing.
absolutely,
We'll say what's needed over here. The things you can't say.
Right.
Especially all the things you text me earlier. We'll say all that. Nah, that's a joke too as well. But no, Nicole, it's good to have you back here. But before we begin, Dev, please do a
Absolutely.
little housekeeping for us.
So we back again. Y'all already know what it is. So I'm gonna make it quick and concise. Y'all like the show, love the show, hate the show. Do us a huge favor. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Y'all can find us on all social media platforms. I can find us on YouTube, at Twitch,
even TikTok too as well.
TikTok
BNY
as well.
Network.
Oh, you're on TikTok.
We got over 1,000
yeah.
subscribers.
Absolutely. So we're definitely working to grow this. So if y'all
Low key.
y'all rocking with us, man, give us the what I call it, Rick?
The Showtime special.
Give us that Showtime special.
Help
what
a
that
brother
means is help a brother out. If you like the show, love the show, hate the show, like, share, subscribe, comments, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. Let us know how we doing. Let us know how we can improve. Shout out to our guests if you have any questions. Just interact and engage. That way we know that y'all rocking with us, and we're going to keep rocking with y'all.
Also, interactive, engaged. If you have questions, please type in the comments section too, well, as I normally do. If y'all want to engage with each other, feel free.
Facts.
Yeah, and then we'll cipher through all that.
The comment section is your oyster.
It drives the
Just
show.
do what you go ham.
It gets the people going too
Gets
as
the
well.
people going.
There you go. All the above. I need to bring this keyboard back over here, but there we go. Samisha, Ricky BNY all supporting the community. Absolutely. Thank you for your support too as well, Samisha. Absolutely. Everything you're doing as far as your race in District 1. Oh, District 3. Last time we saw you, you were a candidate. Next time we see you, you're sitting on top 27% of the vote.
Hey,
It's
looking mighty stout over
So
there.
November 8th, just an auction to the to wearing the crown.
Look, I appreciate that. God, I mean, been following hard work. That's it. Last year, really glad. Hard work is. That was the goal to take.
Facts. Finish the race.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing I would say about you too as well, it's no shot at anybody, but you've ran a very active campaign on social media, and you also been in the community too as well.
Yeah.
I'm constantly seeing you post. I think you post more than us. That's right with the podcast and all that.
Real
What's up?
quick, can you just check y'all? Carlos says going out.
Oh,
No,
move
just
closer.
check
Oh, a second. Tap that mic real quick. Yeah, move closer. I'll just turn it up some. Yeah. Hey, I tell you what. If we're good over here, hook that up over there. Yeah, just let her hand mic it. See, I replaced the cables, and I'm saying the same thing. You know what? It's not the cables. It's probably the mic. That's what it is. Because, when we eternally troubleshoot it, it sounds fine.
Right.
But then, I can't really test. I mean, I could test social media, but
yeah.
a little bit different from there. Give us a second, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing this live. Is that, yeah, just give her that mic right there. And we can plug that one into a 4. Yeah. I'll go and turn 3 down. There we go. We're good. Let's see. See how that works right there and get that out there. That should be good. Give me a mic check real quick, Nicole. Oh, you talking to Mike? No, that's not. Is it on the right number? Yeah, they're both on 4. That's on 4. Is that what's that on? Five. Oh, that's my fault.
Check, check.
Yeah, that was on me, ladies and gentlemen. I had
Okay.
the red light still for cutting out the audio there. Okay,
Okay.
we're back now.
Better?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
good.
All right. Awesome. Awesome.
So yes, campaign.
Um,
So last time we saw you was 8 months ago. You ran a very good campaign, social media, events. What's been the reception for you?
It's been great. I will have to say, I think that, being engaged has been key because people really receive that well, the community, from the school community, just the community at large, other parents, teachers, I mean, I have, very few complaints, of course there's a little craziness that comes with this whole world as always, but I would say been very positive, the support and the feedback I've received, and just how people have received me has been positive.
That's good.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. Been a couple issues these past few weeks in Charles County Public Schools. Oh, Deb, I gotta get you hip to some.
Please do.
Yeah.
Little 5-minute intermission.
You got you got threats of guns, fake guns,
Yeah.
all sorts
Wait
of
a
things.
minute.
Charles County comment section. Feel free to chime in too as well.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on everything going in as far as the threats of violence to our children and school age,
Yeah.
teachers, staff?
It's just overwhelming, first of all, and as a parent, because, I have a child that goes here. So I have the same concerns as other parents. I have the same concerns as teachers, staff, because my kid is in the building too, every day. And it's not just one school, it's multiple schools. And there are even some schools that we may not hear things about, but things are happening, across the county. And so, well, I will say, it's concerning as a parent, and as a member of the community for sure. And it tells me that the kids, it tells me a couple things, but one thing is that these kids are crying out. These kids need something that we're not providing, as a community, as maybe the family, as, the school community as a whole, just everyone. We're missing something here. Because, there are issues everywhere, of course, but, and sometimes, social media does make things a little more, make it look a little more prevalent than, what it had been in the past. And sure, we had issues like when I was in school, but there was no social media, so you didn't know about it. Now we're knowing about daily about everything that's happening. So I think that makes people more concerned, and more scared. And I get both sides, I get there are kids who are hurting. There are families who are not, that they need supports and things. But on the other hand, I get that they're fed up, that they have to deal with treated, assaulted even, and I mean, I had a conversation this week and I said, I don't, as whatever job I'm not a teacher, but in whatever job, I don't get paid enough, no matter how much I get paid, to come to work and be assaulted every day, or to come to work and have to deal with, constant disruptions, just poor behavior choices and things that are really impacting our kids when they go home, and their families too. So it doesn't just stay in the building, they're taking it home, and then they're affected, and that's why teachers, obviously we have a real problem here, but there is a school safety meeting coming up Monday.
Hold that thought right there on that safety meeting too. Is one of the few things I want to say. All right, this is what we're going to do here. Nicole, take my seat for a second.
Okay.
Take my seat. That's how we're going at.
Okay.
There's some
Can I pull
more.
this?
Yeah. Bring
Okay.
it in.
All right.
Bring it in.
Okay.
So I just kind of got like a quick brief. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Sorry about that, guys. I was looking down. I didn't realize that the camera was back on us.
Okay.
Rick kind of just shot me a quick overbrief of what was going on here recently.
Yeah.
With the young woman at St. Charles, I think it was.
Oh, the one that got put in handcuffs and yes.
all of that. So that's a quick synopsis of what was going on. But
hey, Michael.
So
is that shade about my glasses, or are you trying to compliment? So
first of all, who is it coming from?
Michael Lefwich.
Exactly. So automatically take it.
The whole palm tree.
Because he just said something about my shirt size.
See? Oh my gosh, I see.
Exactly. So
Okay.
Don't even worry about it.
Angela said, cue the musical chair music. Yeah. Hey, look, we trying to listen. It's live, like they said. We're trying to make it happen. Oh, you like it? Well, that's nice. Thank you. I appreciate it, Michael.
Absolutely. What about my shirt, Mike? What about you? You brought it up. Let me know how you feel about it, baby. No, but Nicole. So, in light of everything that's going on with the Uvalde, you got the Florida.
Yeah.
What is Charles County? How is Charles County like this child safe as far as the district and the school board?
Yeah.
What is it, guys? So, in your mind, what you're bringing to this?
Yeah, I think that one, it needs to be, we need to have a multi-layered approach.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. We need a multi-layered approach, obviously, right? Because this is not a one size fits all, or one solution is going to solve every one of the problems that we're having. So I think it's a number of things. One, we need mental health supports for these kids. If you're coming to school threatening other students or teachers, or you're exhibiting destructive behavior, you're assaulting people, you're threatening students or teachers, something is going on, right? I mean, that's not normal behavior of a healthy person, whether it's a student, child or adult. So that's one thing. We need to provide those supports, to those kids. We also need to engage parents more, and engage our community resources more, because we do have conflict resolution centers here. We have community mediation center that can help with that. And one of the most effective restorative practices is peer mediation. Peer mediation, yes. And so if we can help these kids learn how to solve problems on their own, then we won't have to do so much work either to do it for them, because they don't listen to us. Like they're
not at certain ages.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you're having a conflict, and you know how it is when you're a kid, that someone may have brought a stun gun for something very small that we would consider very small, but in their mind, it's something huge. It's something major, and so they need skills to be able to deal with whatever issues come up, whatever concerns or conflicts that they're having with their peers. Whatever emotions they're dealing with that they don't know how to deal with in a healthy way, they need the resources to be able to do that. Otherwise, this is going to continue. We have to give them the tools that they need. And two, I do think we need to engage families more, like I said, parents more, and we need to hold, our families accountable. We need to hold our parents accountable, and there need to be consequences for behavior when we have tried to intervene and tried to give them the tools and the resources. And, sometimes it just either falls on deaf ears, or it doesn't, they don't follow through. So,
everybody, how it sound? Real quick, let's make sure. Good, I switched up to a totally different mic. I'll put myself back on camera.
Old school.
Yeah,
the old school mic.
I'll put myself back on camera here in a second. But what do you think? So a lot of these instances in school, I mean, you have kids run out of classroom.
Yeah, I've heard
on teachers, things
of
that sort, and then the student back the next day. I know there's a lot of redirection. A philosophy as far as that goes.
Yeah.
But at what point does it become different as far as as far as really be able to get to the root cause? I know there's obviously the mental health.
Yeah.
But at some point, wrong is wrong.
You're right.
It has to be addressed too as well. So
correct.
What is the line between? What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's when we need to engage those community resources that I was talking about, because we do have organizations, we have nonprofits that are working currently with some of our schools, but not with all of them. And so they are trained, there are individuals that are trained to deal with those types of behaviors. The teacher shouldn't have to deal with that. They should engage. Are we good?
Yeah, good. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So they should engage those resources and make sure that they're available to everyone, whether, whatever school it is, elementary, middle, high school. And then they can then step in when the child is being, a behavior issue, or it's been over and over and over again. And, the child has been, they've tried to use some restorative practices, or they've tried to give the child a second chance, or whatever the case. And then they keep coming back and doing the same thing. Then that's when we need those community resources to be available in the school building to step in and assist with that, because they are trained for that. They can make sure that the child is still getting educated, but that they're not disrupting the class. They're not assaulting teachers. They're not assaulting other students. They're not being disruptive to the learning environment. And the teacher can then focus on teaching the kids in the classroom that are not having these issues. And the child who is having issues can get the resources that they need, and then continue the learning environment. So that's what we need to do. We can't expect teachers to handle all of that. That's just not what they're there for. And they're not trained either to deal with that. And it's too much. We can't keep asking them to do everything. Do this. And then on top of that, okay, now do this. Okay. And then now do this, too. We just can't. But there are community resources available that have been trying to get into the school and expand. There are some that are in certain schools, but not in others. And there's just a lot of red tape or whatever. One of the things I want to uncover is what are the barriers that are preventing places like the Community Mediation Center from being regularly welcomed into the school to assist with these issues.
Going on right now?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But every community resources that I talk to, organizations, nonprofits, things like that, have a common theme that they're like, we want to help. We have offered our services. They know that the school system knows that we're available. But either A, they're not being utilized at all, or they're in certain schools, but not in all.
So based on the position that you're running for, are you willing to admit that there are inadequacies as it stands right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is the overarching.
Yep.
The inadequacies that are in place.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you can honestly say that, that means a lot.
No,
That's
for
tough.
sure. I mean, it is.
Tough.
You can't, I don't think that we can look at what's been going on over the last year and a half since the kids have been back at school and not say that there are systemic issues going on. I don't think, if you've been paying attention. And like I said, I mean, I'm not far removed. I don't just hear about it on the news. Like my kid is going to school every day. So when things happen, I get the email, I get the letters home, or my kid tells me if something happened, particularly at his school, I hear it firsthand.
Before I begin, how's my mic sound? Am I good? No issues. Okay, cool. All right, good. Well, actually, I want to say something else to that, but let's get to some of the comments first too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're already going at it. I done missed some.
Yeah, I don't want to listen before I say my deal.
I'm gonna roll back up real quick. Allow. Okay. Hate on my girl. That's the start of it. All right. So Carlos Shells. That's about.
Okay. Yeah.
Question 4. Not what we. Okay, so if someone said, Pascal says, everyone please attend the upcoming school safety meeting with Charles County Public Schools and asks what other measures are in place to ensure our schools are safe places of learning. Yeah,
that's Monday night. It is on Zoom, but the information is posted on the Charles County Public Schools Facebook page, on their website. So please, parents, community members that are concerned, get on there and ask questions. I'm curious myself. I will be listening in.
Look at this comment right here. Joshua Barrett, my guy. What's going on with you?
Thanks.
We need more PTO meetings and gatherings at schools. Families get together. Girls bumping and jumping.
I like the grill idea. I definitely do.
What? People will talk over a nice
meal.
They will.
If you bring the food, they will come. That's true. But I go to the PTO meetings, Josh, and there's often, I mean, it's very low. I will say, I mean, The last one I went to, I will say at my son's school, they had about maybe 25 or 30 people, and that's like high. That I've hardly ever seen that. And it's the beginning of the year, so we'll see how, how it fares as we get through the year and people start to drop off. But that's true. I mean, we have the meetings and we have things. Sometimes, some schools are better than others at engaging with families. But sometimes, they have the events and the families are not there. So
That's why I say, look, PTO meeting, want people to show up. Like Joshua said, you offer something else that's there, which the kids should be enough too as well.
Yeah,
should be.
No, but I hear you. You got to have something to
do an
draw
open
them
bar
in
there too as well.
Okay. I don't know if we can do that, but
a little incentive.
I ain't saying nothing, but you probably get a lot more participation.
So Nicole, I want to ask you, Mike brought this up. Michael Leftwich, shout out Michael Leftwich, you dedicated comments.
Absolutely, yes. We can always count on you.
Yeah. So he says St. Charles doesn't even have a PTO, and the admin are against it. Are you aware of?
I did not know that. This
Leftwich,
is my.
Why does the admin not want it? What is?
Can you expound?
Can you elaborate?
If you know what's going on, or
I
why?
do know a couple of people who have kids at St. Charles, so I'm interested in learning more about that too, because that's the first I've heard. So
Okay.
Michael, if you can give us some more details.
Expound on that, please. That way we can kind of address it accordingly.
Did we get to what's up, Chris? We get to his question right here as far as the inadequacies. Do you really define that?
Oh, no. I mean, I asked her what, what I'm saying. She thought that were.
Let's go to Chris' question too. So what do you consider some of the inadequacies with Charles County Public Schools?
So definitely in the area of school safety, we have a whole lot of work to do for sure. In terms of school conduct, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the way that discipline is being given to certain students versus others, certain schools versus others. There's just, I would say, more. There are inadequacies for sure, but I would say more inconsistencies than anything. So like, not everything is being done right or wrong at all schools. So this school's doing it this way, it may be working, and then this school's doing it a different way, and that's part of the problem. And that's why, for example, with school safety, I'm curious to hear what Dr. Navarro is going to present on Monday about school safety, because there's so many inconsistencies with how discipline is handled, whether it comes to, elementary kids, where sometimes they send them to the principal's office, and then they just send them back. Other kids may get suspended, maybe for the same thing, same infraction. But there is a code of conduct, that they're supposed to kind of follow. Now, of course, there are exceptions and things like that, but that's certainly not being followed. I saw that with the bullying situation that I got involved in last year. And parents were following the process, submitting the form, and going through the whole, process that was outlined. And the process just wasn't being followed. The process that the created was not being followed. And there's no oversight. So that's another, I guess I would say, as an inadequacy, is that there are several things that there's not oversight to ensure that it's being done adequately or appropriately or equitably. So
I think the thing is that, dude, Joshua, we talked off as well, but you gotta get people you gotta get community back in the schools, man.
I agree.
You can't.
I agree.
I can't look at Nicole and be like, Nicole, fix it.
Yeah.
You're elected now. Have it all on you.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be me.
I agree.
And everyone's comment section too as well.
We need everyone.
Like, it can't be, it just doesn't work. It's not working now. I mean, you got kids just running out of classrooms.
That's an
doing all sorts of
overarching
wild
issue,
things
though.
to teachers.
Right.
Yeah, can threaten to teach a knife and be in school the very next day. I mean, what does that do for that teacher? Teacher quits, then what?
Right.
That's
exactly.
an overarching
you got
issue,
teachers
though.
here in Charles County, long-term subs just sitting there. Do you even know that? Community? Do you have any idea of that?
Huh?
Like, it's
talk about it.
Like, it's
don't talk about it.
No, it's a lot of issues here, but and things. It's just a constant. Like, I think Holmes said it does. No one's really doing about it. It's the same thing. You go to the principal's office, read you the code of conduct, you go back to class.
Yeah, no, that's not.
It happens a lot.
Yeah, I know. I've heard
a lot.
I've heard that. Like I said,
I wish people actually knew what was going on. If people wouldn't get fired, teachers in this county, for coming on here and just telling every day what goes on. This would be absolutely appalling.
Well, so is there not a thing? Is there not something in place? What reprisal? You know, so as far as
out to several teachers about coming.
Well,
on
I'm just
tell
saying,
me,
like like on our side,
tell me right now.
On our side, you know, what I'm saying we had that protection.
Yeah.
That if you whistleblow certain things that was going on in your environment, you were safe from reprisal.
Oh, I mean, I say it, but I want docs a private citizen. But
what I'm saying is that not in place for teachers in the county to say, look.
I know, Nicole. You about to win this seat. You tell me.
I think certainly, you know, the EACC, the Teachers Association, is supposed to protect them. You know, I don't know what all is in their contract, though. Full disclosure about protecting them from.
A lot of teachers not a fan of the EACC.
True, it's true, but I'm just saying that's one of the purposes of having, you know, an association or union is that they protect their employees. But I've heard from a lot of teachers that they still don't feel enough of a safety net under that to be able to speak their mind, and that they may not get fired, but they feel like maybe they retaliated it. And so, you know, that may be why. But I do talk to teachers privately, counselors, school staff, you know, so I've definitely heard a lot of, you know,
for sure.
some of those same concerns. So
if you've done a lot of similar people that we know that you've talked to too as well. So I definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely. Because if we don't know what the issues are, we can't solve them, you know, or try to solve them. I'm not saying I can solve everything, so y'all don't think that I said that because I'm one person. But we got to start there. You know, we have to know what the issues are. You know what I mean? So that's why I've just kind of been like a sponge, gathering as much information as I can from all sides, everyone's experience, to try to figure out where are the gaps, you know?
Now, I know you worked as a school board member. I mean, I know you worked as a substitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you've been in this.
Yeah, since last year. Yeah.
You kind of still, if you went.
I wanted to, but I was told that I can't. So,
that.
Yeah, because it's kind of like
conflict of interest. Or something
yes,
like that.
exactly, like a conflict of interest, and like you're going into the school building, and these are people that you're like their boss, working substitute, kind of like a lot of gray area, but yeah, it creates a weird dynamic. And so, but what I was told is that I can, a lot of times school board members are asked to come to the school building, like to visit or like classrooms, sit in on classrooms, sometimes even like teach in the class. So I can do that as a board member. But, you know, have to do it in that capacity and not like just sign up for a substitute assignment. Like they need, you know, I need to make sure that a lot of teachers have told me they hate when the board members do come, they always come at the most inconvenient times. So they want them to come when they would like for them to come, you know.
Announce it. Like, you know how it is in the military. Hey, boss walking around today.
Yeah.
You have to be out the building. So make sure you're doing something right.
Right, exactly.
You got to clean up, a little vacuuming, you know.
Yeah, but a lot of them say like they come, you know, they'll be like at the beginning of the school year, right? You always see like the board members will come visit the schools and stuff. But then after that, they said that, you know, they don't come. I want to be present in the so. In whatever way I can, you know.
Your district that we just.
I'm sorry.
Within your district.
I think I mean I could go to any school, so
you just want to be a presence.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just want to make that clear.
Oh yeah, any school, and I've been involved with other schools that aren't just in District 3, because this is kind of a tricky thing. I run in my district, right? But like if I'm on the school board, I still vote on issues that affect the entire county.
Thanks.
So it's not delineated in such a way that kind of like, you know, Congress is, where like you have a senator that only represents their, you know, state. It doesn't work like that, you know.
Okay, you want to get back to
let's get to the comments.
Okay. Scroll back to. Okay, so what are your ideas for getting more people in to attend the public meetings from Carlos? Shout out to Carlos.
So I'd like to look at a couple things. So one, the timing. A lot of parents say that the time of the meetings are not convenient, you know, for them. So times, days of the week, those are just basic things. Two, I'd like to see every school offer some type of hybrid option if we're talking about PTO. because I've been to some schools that do their PTO meetings virtual, or they do a hybrid, so they have some in person and virtual. And sometimes you have more participation. Exactly, because you have more participation that way. Because we would have parents like driving, commuting back from work, or I don't know, maybe they're coming back from sports or something like that. A lot of times I'm on Zoom when my son's in soccer. You know what I mean? So it would make it more convenient. The delivery method, timing, like I said, also having like outreach for non-English speaking families, because that's an area that we haven't tapped into. And we need to have translation services, because why would I come to a PTO meeting if it's all in English and I don't speak English? I'm not going to come.
Tough. And
So
that's not just like Hispanic, but it's talking about
no,
like
any language,
ESL or
any language, or sign language, anything.
Language as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to
tough.
be inclusive. Because that's why we're not reaching certain certain families. And then the delivery method in which that we notify them about the meetings. Because I know, for example, like my school only sends out an email, but not everybody checks their email. Not sure, like most people are like, oh, you have an email. That's true. Most people probably do, but there's still one, maybe some that don't. Two, maybe some that maybe it's a work email, and so you don't have access to it after hours, or there could be other barriers. I don't know, but we need to talk to the parents and find out what is it, what's keeping you from engaging, and go from there.
Time is a difficult.
Yeah.
Like you do a PTO meeting at 6 p.m., 7 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Well, there was an event yesterday, not a PTO meeting, but I went to the Hispanic Community Conversation, which was a great event yesterday at Thomas Stone High School. But I will say, for me, it started at 5:30. And for me, that was difficult to get to on time. And I was like a few minutes late.
Tough.
That's a tough time. So yeah, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Sometimes, I can understand why it's difficult for families to get to those meetings when they're at that time. Now, but again, on the flip side, if teachers are coming, we don't want to expect them to have worked all day and then stay till 7, 8 o'clock at night either. You know what I mean? So we got to have a balance. That's why I think hybrid is the best way to go. Because let the teachers go home too. And then, they may log in, onto the meeting, but at least they can be home. They could be having their dinner, getting their dinner ready, helping their kids with their homework or whatever the case, and still be engaged. But if you're expecting them to stay, at the school after you've been there since 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, I mean, come on,
Yeah, that's just
facts. That's asking a bit much.
So we have to give, and it has to be give and take. The teachers can't always be the one, or the school administrators can't always be the one sacrificing, their time as well. So we just got to find a happy medium. I don't think it's rocket science. I think we need to talk to the parents. Why aren't you engaged? What can we do? What would make this more convenient?
Oh, comment section. Y'all tell us. Why aren't you more engaged?
Yeah.
I know a lot of y'all are, so I definitely appreciate it. But why do you think most people, or a lot of people, aren't engaged more? Let's keep it the comments too as
Rick,
well.
you want to address, because it's like a slew of union questions, bro. You want to like jump on it, if that can be addressed, right? Like 3 or 4 in a row.
Union thoughts on? I know you got the teachers. We talked a little bit about the.
Yeah.
I know a lot of teachers are. Well, I'm not gonna speak for all of them, but I've been told by a good number that they're not a fan of it. Much for them as far as protection.
I would say that there is a hierarchy at the EACC, the Educators Association in Charles County.
What's the name of this individual?
The president is Sean Heil.
Sean Heil.
Yeah.
Open invitation to the podcast.
Facts.
Yeah, President is Sean
Here
Heil.
and now.
I will say that,
Tag him in the comment section.
I think that I know they have rep meetings where teachers, because I was invited to one, as you know, because I was endorsed by the EACC. So I was invited to one of their rep assembly. All of the endorsed candidates were from commissioner up, or school board commissioner, all the way up. And they do have reps in each building. So the teachers are the way it's supposed to work is the teachers are supposed to bring their concerns to their rep in their building. And then they will take those concerns to the rep assembly meetings, which happen monthly at the EACC. And then that's where like the president, the vice president, all of their board or executive members, I guess, are, and, discuss things in that way. And they should also, attend the assembly meetings as well. They do their assembly meetings hybrid, because I came in person, but there were people. So it's another way for teachers to be engaged and express their concerns. I've also seen teachers speak at the board meetings also.
Yeah, and I don't doubt the transparency of it, or monthly meetings, which is great. I like candidates and those in office to talk to them, but it's what's happening, the action of the sort as well.
Yeah,
teachers literally being abused.
Absolutely,
in the
I
classroom.
agree.
So I want to know exactly how the EACC actually really, and then obviously you're not
Right, I would
EACC,
say that's a
but-
great question for Sean Heil. I hate to put him out there, but
Sean Heil.
Sean
Get the word
Heil,
out.
he's
What's up, though?
he's the EACC president. I think he's very approachable. So
Okay.
I think you
Okay.
could certainly talk to him about your concerns. I don't know if he would be willing to come on the podcast, but I mean, you could certainly extend the invitation. But I've talked to him many times, and he seems very accessible and open to have conversation too. So,
as school board member, would you work closely with the ACC?
I mean, they attend all of the meetings. We do. There are part of the central office administration that's involved in the contract negotiation, and then of course the school board has to sign off on that. So, yes, I would say, yeah. I mean, we do work with them. Yeah, sure.
See what this whole thing plays out, the long play.
Text alerts. I like that too, Angela. Yes, I want to do that too because, and then text the meeting link so that, because pretty much everyone has a phone. So you can at least get on from your phone. Maybe if you don't have a computer at home, you have a phone and,
Facts.
you can get on with your phone wherever you are. So.
I'm popping in on a Friday night. Love to see it. Let's go with Amber. Working down Carlos too.
Okay.
Oh, hold a second. Did anybody say the mic sounded good? Just out of curiosity.
No one's complained. So
That's what I'm saying.
I
no
think you're
news is
good.
good news.
I think you're good if they can hear you. Yeah.
No news is good news.
Switch it out.
We're taking it at that.
Got this baby right there on the bench like a six man.
Hey, come
wait.
on, Lou Williams.
Hey.
Put him.
Hey, put me in the game, coach.
I got you, baby.
Hey, we used to run with this one for a while.
I'm about to say this
Yeah.
bit here is one of the longest running mics.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo,
really?
Yo,
Yeah.
no, real
This
live.
right here, yeah.
Shout out to
Somebody say, Rick, I can't
quality
hear you.
over
Yeah, I'm like-
quantity, baby.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah,
Nah,
but
facts.
let's get those comments. What we got?
You want to hit? I can't. It's a glare. You want to hit Amber's? I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling this. I like the name tape too.
Oh,
Yeah, vote for me. District 3.
wow,
I'm not
Nicole
a
has
crook.
really changed your look up.
I know. Wow.
Don't call it pandering.
Oh my God.
Facts.
Please.
All right. We say
Amber.
what we can, what you can't.
I'm not fooling with y'all. Okay? Not fooling with y'all.
Let's see. She
Nah,
says
nah.
it starts at home. These parents need to discipline these damn children instead of being their damn friend.
Okay.
They need to take the child's side instead of checking them and disciplining their ass. Amber coming with
Coming
great
strong,
heat.
coming
Yeah.
strong with it.
Amber, whose child you talking about?
Yeah, well, let's say this.
Parent you talking about? That's a real question. Nah, baby.
Amber, as parents, we have certain. I'll say
Absolutely.
this. I'll say this, and we're going to keep going with the comments. I will say this. My daughter is in the 5th grade. Every day I pick her up from school, she has a story about one particular kid in her every day. It doesn't, and she's like, Daddy, I know he's just doing it to be a disruption. These are the words of an 11-year-old, not mine. I know he's doing it just to be it. So it's like when you realize that, and like teachers and administrators are witnessing this, what type of pressure, your thumb, can you put on them? Like, look, kids, teachers are, and you all aren't saying or doing anything. What could you do? Kind of say, hey, look, problem children needs to be addressed because we have to do something to ensure that the rest are getting the proper education and attention, as opposed to being divvied out to these problem children.
Yeah, and they're when they cause disruption, it's all the attention is on them.
Facts.
Yeah. No, I had a similar situation with my son, and there was one kid, and what they would do instead of, kind of dealing with the one kid, they would end up like evacuating the entire classroom.
Yeah. It's
And
craziness.
So, yeah, absolutely. And I ended up meeting with the principal and the vice principal about it. I was like, look, this is interrupting my child's education now and everyone's education. I think, like I said, again, I actually had a conversation with one of the local community resources that I was, talking about, and she had a really good suggestion about doing maybe like a strike program. So like, okay, you have bad behavior, and then we give you some type of like warning, or we bring you out for a shorter time, have some type of restorative practice, maybe reflection on what you did, and then we let you come back. And the second time, it escalates to something else, maybe in school suspension or something like that, because you don't want to kick them out of school, because, and I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but you have to provide an education to kids too. Also have to find out what is the root of the behavior. And if you have a child that's already not engaging in education for whatever reason, you don't want to encourage that by saying, okay, get out of school. You know what I mean? That's the conundrum that we're in here. But yes, you can't continue to just, okay, you go to the principal's office and then you go back. And then the next day you do the same thing and you go to the principal's office for an hour and you come back. No, that's not the answer either. But I think, maybe having some type of like disciplinary program that, is tiered. And so the consequences continue to increase, maybe again, figuring out how to engage the parents. Back in the day when I was in school sometimes, and even I think within like the last 5 to 10 years, they would have parents come and like have to sit with their kids at school, to come back. And I think they still do it in PG County, where like if your child gets suspended or in school suspension or whatever, if you had to have a conference with the parent in order for the child to return back to the classroom. So maybe some things like that, requiring the parents to come in and engage more. Maybe you have to come in and sit and see what's going on in the classroom so that they can be accountable.
Force the community involved.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I mean, we got whatever we're doing now, it's not working. So, I mean, I'm open to suggestions, but those are just some of the things.
Modern problems require modern solutions. Though.
I'm exactly.
I'm all for
and if we try something, exactly. And if we try something that doesn't work, then we go back to the drawing board, But we do need our community to get involved, and we do need our parents to get involved. And that's, part of my platform is engaging community and families. And so, I want to continue to try to do that. However, we can do that. So.
I was running for election, you running, we work. Get you. Nah, I'm all for it. What's what we got up here? What's going on, Amber? Who else in there too?
Who else?
Cat Young. What's
Cat
going
Young.
on with you?
Back up some.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
What someone said something about translators that cost money. So here's one thing I will say is that volunteerism
Goes a
first
long
and
way.
foremost. I mean, like
Yep.
I have no problem. Like I volunteer my time throughout the
Right.
when it comes to it's the
Yeah.
So problem
Right.
when it comes to outsourcing as far as that. Now,
Well, that's what I'm saying. There are individuals in the community who are happy to volunteer their time, who are happy to volunteer their services, unpaid, for whatever reason, to contribute, positively just to society, maybe because they have a child there, so they have some investment there, or whatever reason. But yes, there's so many industries utilize volunteers for multiple things, I mean, I work in healthcare and we have volunteers, in the hospital and things like that, we have volunteer interpreters, things like that. So there are ways to engage, the community. Sure.
I was like, stop right there. And also too, as well, you got, I mean, even at high school this year, county that are bilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
For
a
kid,
like a type
$15,
of
something like that, an hour.
like a little summer
$20,
school
20,
or like a
Absolutely.
during school program,
Or
something
like an
like that.
after school program
After
or
school?
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Last
It's
night.
ways, you gotta just get creative with it, but it's ways to do it.
Exactly. And we do have new leadership. We have a new superintendent. She's a year or so in. Definitely has some new ideas that I feel like are things that we haven't done before in Charles County that, is hopefully a look into the future of what's to come, that we're going to start looking at things in a different way.
Quick question. So, 2 parts. Carlos asks, does the school board send out agendas to parents beforehand so they know what it's talking about, and to follow that up, at young, be clear and concise and not full of fluff. So whatever you all are sending, is it to the point so that parents, people can.
So to answer that question, the first part of it, yes, there is an agenda that's sent out when you get the email. And I think when it's posted on their social media pages, they post a link to the agenda so that you know what's going to be discussed.
Right,
of course, you know what an agenda is, though. There's just like bullet points, it's not in detail. But it does kind of give you a little summary, a little overview. And then as far as what Kat's saying about agendas need to be clear, I think the agendas are clear, but the meeting's not full of fluff. I can kind of understand what she's saying there. If you ever watch a school board meeting, it's like a lot. It's a lot. And it goes on for, hours. It starts at like 1:00. I mean, it's a lot. So I agree.
It's not the most exciting thing in the world.
Not at all. Not at all.
BNY.
Not at all.
You may start a little bit late after 7, Angela.
Not at all.
At least you get some entertainment too as well.
Definitely called us out on that, right? I seen that, Angela.
So I think,
the veins are pumping blood, right?
Now I don't know about that part. I mean, there are things that have to be discussed. There's a decorum. There's a method that things have to go, sequence and all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think at the end, maybe like a summary, in the simplest terms, not all the extra stuff.
So
this is
like a clip of
exactly
some
like this is what happened. Yeah, maybe a highlight reel, maybe a summary that gave these are like highlights that parents would care about. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. It's sort of like she said, like fluff stuff. Well, it's not fluff. It's not fluff. Those are, things that are administrative that they have to take care of and, things like that. So you may not want to hear all the speeches and, the updates from AFSCME and EACC and Dr. Navarro. You may not want to listen to all that. You want to get to like the meat of it. And so I think, maybe there could be like a little highlight reel at the end that posts on the website. So if you couldn't catch the meeting, you don't have to watch the whole 5 hours. I'm still trying to catch up on last meeting. Like I had started it and then I had to stop. And I still haven't gotten through the whole thing. So it can be cumbersome for sure. So I definitely think there's some improvement to be made there for sure. To families.
Get a presenter, little scissor reel, maybe a beat by Bonaparte.
Hey, someone chop up some clips.
Hey, that's why you think TikTok's such a big platform right now.
Yeah. Hey,
and easy. Even though there's downside that you don't really get context, but.
Oh,
5
true.
hours.
That's true.
No,
5 hours.
That's what I mean. So maybe like a summary, a brief summary of highlights that are.
Twice.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, even for me. And I'm engaged and want to know, what all the details are. But it's still a lot just to find time to listen to 5 hours, of a meeting. So for sure, there's something that can be done there.
Working down. Of which I saw your comment.
You going in on this right now.
I love it. Let's keep going. The kids are ruthless.
Yeah, shout out to my girl.
And I don't want to be completely negative when it comes to the children and young adults of Charles County. I've met a lot of great kids. I work with them every week. Adults too as well. Got nothing but love for them. I want to make a huge focus on that. There's a lot of good families here.
Absolutely.
That I see in and out of my my daily activities. So
I agree. I agree.
Quick question to my co-host,
sir.
Little bit just between us right now.
Okay.
Do you think it's a little skewed because parents that if kids are in the extracurricular activities, the parents are usually involved? Do you think your view is skewed because you're looking at parents that are involved because it's soccer, flag football versus the multitude that may not be involved in certain things?
Well,
you think it could be a little jaded in that?
I think the biggest difference is that the families and the kids, they want to be there.
And the involvement.
Yeah, so you want to do something. It's going to be a little bit different.
So, facts.
Versus
facts.
like, state says I got to send you to school from 8 to 4. Just get out of here. So I can go to work. Watch my kid, please.
So I can go. Give me a break.
Okay. Good point.
I saw the memes during COVID. Teachers, come take your kids back.
Yeah.
I saw that. So
facts.
No, it's true.
It is, ladies and gentlemen.
Like that,
no, it shouldn't.
It
shouldn't. But I do want to say too, to that point, to what you were saying before, Ricky, though, that there are certainly families that are not in, but I don't think that that's the majority. I don't.
Okay.
You know, I think that what happens is what you hear about more often is the negative. And so then it becomes more like that's the majority, but in fact it's not. It's just that it gets more attention than positive.
So you like the smallest crowd speak the loudest.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Loud minority.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, these kids are different. I mean, are they really though?
Yes.
They are.
Versus what? The 80s,
when we was in school, bro, they're
the 90s.
different. They're different. It's a completely different
the only thing
atmosphere.
different is the internet and media.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it so much different.
That's popping off then.
Yeah, but when you think about
you saw teachers fight kids in school.
Well, facts. That's what I'm saying.
And in high school.
And guess what happened?
All that nonsense.
Guess what happened?
In the bathroom too as well.
That teacher kept their job because once the story came out, it was probably the kid.
A story didn't come out though.
Not to the public.
Then you had to make like the Washington Post.
Yeah.
Now you gotta do just make
right. Yeah. Or somebody just have their phone and record.
Well, I mean, think about it like 80s and 90s. There were no phones.
No, I mean now though. Yeah,
now,
so that's why.
Boom, it
so
pops
easy.
out. And here's the thing though, the first 10 minutes of that interaction is missing. Yep. Where the kid is calling the teacher.
Right, there's no context.
No context.
You only see the clip, that is being showed.
What wants to be shown. It's different, bro. It's different.
That's different.
It's the same stuff. It's just different.
Man, what they say,
much different.
What they say, different toilet.
That's it. Facts. Facts. That's why it's so modern. What you say? Modern problems require modern solutions.
I agree with that.
You feel me?
I definitely agree with that.
Kids, y'all gotta stop saying that. It's the same thing it was back then. This what's the word I'm looking for? This revisionist history.
Ooh.
No, it's the same. It's the same. Everything that I hear today, I saw in school.
Yeah, facts.
I saw teachers spit on. I see teachers get fight. I've seen high schoolers whoop their teachers.
So you don't
with everybody around watching. Only difference now is that everybody has a phone. Going out. It's the same. It's the same thing, dude. I want teachers bloody on the ground.
Tough.
Yeah, kid got kicked out of
facts.
school. Absolutely.
Seen that.
Well, yeah.
What, so
kids stealing other kids' property, shoes off the feet. Man, please.
What about okay, so let me ask this question and we can move on from
parents
this.
too as well.
It's no different than what parents did. They still defend them then like they do now. What do you think about
not
like
my baby.
Not
the
my
society,
baby.
like the side where people, the detractors were saying like we've created like a sort of peppercorn, popcorn, soft society where you react quickly at a situation without having your full context. Coming into this position, you're going to be dealing with a lot of this as far as like the town hall meetings.
Yeah.
So what do you think about people that's quick to like jump on something and react versus having that full like that's sort of like preparation that's involved.
I'm highly against that, and so that's why I try to be careful what I say and what I like comment on social media and things like that, because I realize that 9 times out of 10 I don't have all the facts. So if I don't have all the facts and the information, I can't make a judgment on that.
Right.
So a lot of times I think you're right. Like people are so quick. They see like someone post a little blurb on social media and like, oh, this happened at my kid's school today. This is what they told me. And then I'm like, well, hold on. There's so much missing from this. Like what, you know what I mean? So you really have to, particularly when you're in a position like, on the school board, you can't react to things like that without having all of the information. So what is going on?
This is a good conversation. Keep this going. And the frequency of school shootings is definitely going up.
No, that's for sure.
That's absolutely
that
true.
for sure. That for sure.
Absolutely.
Kids are different. Gone. Look, all right. This is what my aunt told me and my cousin not too long. Rick, years you grew up, it was your father, your mother, myself, kept all y'all around. We all grew up together. We old now. Your turn. We are the village now. So the village is gone. That means we aren't doing our job.
Yeah.
Tough.
I'm 34. Dev.
36.
Nicole.
I'm 40.
Around the same age too as well. It's us.
Yep.
We are the village. But
I
we can go
agree.
on then.
And I feel like that's what
that's
we
a complete shot at us right there. We have to do a job.
we do.
And maybe that's why the kids are the way you see
Are
them
the
right
way
now.
that they are.
I agree.
That's
I
tough.
agree. We
Big
got
Mom
to
ain't around no more.
I
Sitting
agree
at
with
the head
that.
of that table.
Granddaddy off doing something else, chilling on the front porch.
Granddad in the club.
Some
It's our
granddaddies
job,
are.
though.
That
It's
is
our job.
true.
It's on
Facts.
us.
Facts. Facts.
When these kids get right, then we do something about
I
it.
agree with that. And that's what I want to see more of is parents and community members, us taking accountability, taking a step to say, hey, what can we do? Like, what can we do as a community, as the village, like Ricky said, what can we do, instead of pointing the finger or saying, yeah, these kids are bad. Or, yeah, these kids, they just, don't listen or they just don't want to be in school or whatever. It's easy to look down, at a problem and not offer any solutions. But what I want people to do is bring some solutions to the table, and that's what I'm trying to do. So
Going to a less controversial subject.
Facts.
okay.
GPA in school when it comes to extracurricular activities.
Oh yeah.
Talk about the glass.
I don't know if this is less controversial, Ricky.
Spicy.
Hey, you ready for school, boy? We got you here.
Yeah.
we got you.
Yeah.
No, what's your stance on that?
So I was
Obviously with the policy aspect of your position.
Yeah. So, it was recently in the media because even our current school board could not come to an agreement at first about it. But I was actually pleased with the compromise that they came to. So the GPA got lowered slightly. However, the absences remained. So you can't have more than the 4.5 or 5 absences. We're the only county in the state of Maryland that has that as part of our policy. And the Fs, the no Fs as a part of the policy stayed as well. So I felt like that was actually a good example to me coming in as a new, potential board member of how you can compromise when you all don't clearly agree. Everybody's not going to get their way. Some did not want to change it at all. They didn't want to lower the policy GPA or the GPA at all.
Right.
Others felt like we should. And so I felt like that was my opinion.
I apologize. My facial expression was not towards anything you were saying.
Okay.
I seen the comment. I didn't really like it, and it kind of affected me. But please continue.
Okay.
We're going to address that.
Okay.
Because I do not agree.
Okay. Okay.
Good comment for the record.
Yo, Pascal, I love you. Shout out to our parent leaders and community moms, aunties, and tias. So we're just going to only address, there's only women leaders or community members.
We'll get to that right there.
I'm just saying, bro.
No,
I've seen that. And
One second. Let's finish up with the GPA.
That's why I say let's finish.
And can you pass me out water too, Ricky?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
I said, let's finish.
Unless you want me to drink you a cup over here. I don't know what you got in there.
It's a little.
Thank you.
Some extra.
So, like I said, I feel like, it was a good compromise because I saw both sides. I understood the argument that, she's trying to.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
She's like, say what now? Oh, Michael Leffers claim it. I'll say, okay, future board member, I'm claiming it. Okay. Appreciate that. So, like I said, I saw both sides. I saw the side that said, hey, we shouldn't lower the standard, for our kids. We should raise it so that they can. I get that. And then I saw the other side. We had coaches. We had a lot of coaches actually from different sports, teachers, even students who came and spoke at the board meetings during that time when they were discussing it, who were saying how sports changed their life, how sports impacted their lives. Coaches saw that there were kids who, had the GPA been a little higher, they wouldn't have been eligible. And then their life may have gone a totally different way, And so then that touched me and I was like, we got to figure out a compromise. So I was actually pleased with that. Was one of the things that I actually think the current board did well was come to a compromise, because if you all remember, I don't know if you watched, but the first meeting they were supposed to vote on it, they could not agree. And then there was no vote. They just couldn't agree. They couldn't come to a consensus. And then they just didn't vote on it. And then the next meeting, there were more speakers. And, like I said, I think it was a good compromise. Lower the GPA slightly, the number, GPA, but keep those other additional factors, the no failing grades, the no less than 5 absences. And I feel like that gives a little extra But we still have the strictest policy in the entire state. So, I don't think that we harmed our kids by doing this. And if we can include, I think the number was like over 200, 200 to 200 that would be eligible for sports. Based on that, then why not? Why not try to capture that and try to make a difference? So I had some other ideas about it, but like I said, I was happy with the compromise.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Before I go forward with that one, anything else to Pascal you want to say?
No. Shout out to Pascal because she definitely like, no, dad's included or whatever. She was talking about certain mom groups. Shout out to Pascal or whatever, and her and Michael got to talking about it. I've just, I'm an advocate of dads. You know what I'm saying? Just in general. So I was
absolutely.
Like, I seen that and I was like, wait a minute, they're not the only
schools.
ones that's out here getting it. But I know Pascal wasn't coming from a place of any sort of malice, negativity.
No,
I know
not at all.
Pascal, I'm giving you a hard time. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. Go ahead, Rick. You got it, baby. Hand it over to you.
I love the energy of the two different responses.
I was ready to go.
At first, he was about to lose.
If there was no clarification in there.
That's why I kind of paused. I was like, I know Pascal, she'll fall up on that one.
So no, definitely.
That's funny.
Definitely.
All love. Do you take over? I mean, you when seeing D3, would you, if there's a plan to raise it, fight against it, as far as the GPA goes? The comment section, which I think
there's a plan to raise it.
Raise the GPA.
I don't know if that will come back because it just got decided, and we have so many other policies that I think we need to look at that haven't been looked at in many years. So that probably would not be at the top of my list. Now, of course, I'm one of 9, so that it may come up. I don't really foresee that because, like I said, again, I think it was a good compromise. They didn't completely lower it, take away all the failing grades, take away the absences, and just completely make it bottom of the barrel. I don't think so. Like I said, we still have the strictest policy in the state of Maryland. But if it came back up, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying I would fight against raising it, but I'd want to look at what's changed. Are we doing something different? Obviously, we need more interventions. Like one of the things I wanted to do was actually give the kids like a probationary period, not kick them off. Like if you don't meet the GPA, but say, or like even if you had a failing grade, one of the things I thought about was, again, not to make them completely ineligible just because they got a failing grade, but like give them until say interim time. We give them mandatory tutoring or after school assistance, things like that to kind of help them bring up their grades, and then make sure that they attend so many sessions, whatever the agreement is, in order to give them an opportunity to bring the grade up. And so that's something I would like to look at if we do raise the GPA. So I'm not saying I would fight against it, but I'd want to look at what's changed and what else could we maybe do to help these kids that aren't eligible to get eligible.
Compromise.
I can't argue with that.
The hardest in the state.
We have the strictest in the state of Maryland. Yes. Most other school systems don't have a grade requirement. You can have failing grades. They don't have an attendance requirement. I think most of the others, if not none of, you can look it up online. There's a whole, and one of the board meetings, there was a comparison in the board docs back in the summer talking about it. So there was a comparison. So, and I think that was part of the rationale for the decision.
Okay.
Yeah, Pascal, make sure we're just providing the resource and intervention, sure they're prepared for college and career.
Yeah, absolutely. Understanding that not everybody learns the same, and if a kid is doing something constructive like sport, maybe they aren't the best student academic, why take that away from them? You know what I mean? So yeah, give them added supports and things like that, but everybody's not a straight A student, no matter what. They're just not, and, it could be various reasons, and I'm not saying that every kid can achieve excellence because they can. But I'm just saying that may not be the case, for every situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because they're not capable or they're not, like I said, that they can achieve excellence, but it's just not always going to happen. And so I don't feel like we should then say, oh, well, this is one thing you look forward to, you know, well, you can't do that either. You know what I mean? So that's just kind
That's
of,
tough.
that's where I
It's
struggled.
sort of like defeating in a sense.
Exactly.
You know,
So then
'cause
it's like, well, I came to school and had you know, an incentive to come to school because I'm going to practice after school. Sometimes that's what kids look forward to. So, I mean, for example, I hated history. Like I just hate, you know. And so, you know, every kid has their thing, you know, like you have things you don't like. And you know, sometimes some kids need extra incentives to make them want to work a little harder. And so, you know, I just think it was a good compromise, like I said, you know. And then help, you know, if we want to look at raising it later, then we need to look at ways to help them to. Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Let's scroll. Did we miss anything? Let's scroll up some. We read Angela's comment.
no.
Learning how to study about something you're interested in. One, learn how to study subjects that aren't so exciting. For learning skills, as long as we aren't going too low. Okay.
Oh, as far as the GPA goes. Okay. Excuse me.
What are we doing to raise students' GPA level? Is that
Tough.
Carl, is that as far as like a countywide thing? Like how to like more tutoring and things?
There are definitely, if you're talking about that, Carlos, like overall in the county, obviously, you know, out of COVID, we got a lot of funding to increase, like after school programs or tutoring programs rather, and then, summer programs. So I definitely would like to see that continue.
Okay. Great Carlos question too as well. And I also had a question about more so policy, what you said, but I'll look at this one first.
Okay.
You want me to read it?
I got you.
Go ahead.
What are your thoughts on the way public hearings are handled? Would you comment on what the residents say? Excuse me. Or be like the current elected officials and look at people with blank stares and move on?
Okay. So anybody who knows me knows this is like a thorn in my side. I loathe the current, format of the board meeting. And so, yeah, I don't like the blank stare. You get up there, you get your 3 minutes and they stare at you. You don't know if they heard you. They were listening. Are they going to reply to you? If so,
That's
when?
tough.
Like, I don't like it at all. So I would definitely like to have some type of interaction. I don't know if there's some keeping them from saying
You must have a
anything.
straight face.
Yeah,
bylaws.
I don't know. I'm
You
like,
can't say anything back to the people.
it's definitely something I have not uncovered yet, and so I definitely would like to find that out. You know, it's one of the things I would like to find out early on, so we could kind of have more interaction. I feel like that would be helpful, because I know I've spoke at the board meetings before, you know, and it's frustrating because you're a lot of times when you're there to speak, it's about something that you're frustrated about, and sitting there doing that is like, and not getting a blank stare or no response. That's not making me feel any better.
Yeah,
So.
because I'm already taking time out of my day to Oh, okay. Go ahead. Do you think? Yeah, you're already taking time out of your day into get your word in.
Right.
You're right as a citizen.
Mhm.
Let me see. I mean, something. I understand that you got like 70 people there.
Of course.
Can't respond back to everybody, but like
Yeah.
a lot of times there. So or afterwards, stick around and answer a few questions. So.
Now, sometimes they do that. I was at a recent meeting where Dr. Navarro and several board members, not all of them, but several of them did stay behind and mingle and talk to the community that was there. But I definitely think we could do better for sure.
You know, Angela's question. You know much about the COVID money that was given to the county?
Yes. And so it depends on what you're talking about, Angela. So there was the ESSER funds. I mean, there's been tons of funds basically funneling in. But typically how that works, just to kind of simplify things, is like all the ESSER funds were already allocated. The ESSER 1 and 2 were already out, and then we even got a third batch, and most of those are already allocated. So they would have to submit a plan, typically to the state, you know, or whomever. I guess those funds came from the state, and say how we're going to spend it. And so that's kind of already been done. Now, of course, they can make changes, you know, as needed and things like that. But there are other grants that are coming, Angela. There's like the Maryland Leads grant. you know, for teacher retention and the science of learning or reading. You know, there's still money coming in for various grant programs. So I'm not sure exactly if she's just talking about COVID, that would be ESSER funds, and most of those funds have already been allocated, not necessarily spent, but allocated. So, I mean, there's a whole like budget that they came up with, a whole plan. So I know after school or summer programs was a lot of that. A lot of that went towards that. You know, like our summer program over this past summer, there was also transportation included in that. So the Boost program, I think those are the kids who also got transportation.
I know kids. So,
Yep, yeah, stuff like that. Tutoring.
Yeah,
we're also offering tutoring again this year. So a lot towards, you know, those kinds of things, you know, to kind of help bring kids up to, you know, where they need to be to kind of mitigate the learning loss that was not necessarily a result of COVID, but that was exacerbated by COVID.
Yeah,
so
we had a lot of beforehand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We did. Yep. So everybody likes to say, you know, learning loss from COVID, which there was, but there was also, we were also behind before COVID, and COVID just made it that much worse. So
It's different when I went inside because I just look at them.
I know.
Pascal, you still? Pascal, I thought you were out of here, but stick around as long as.
Professional development. Oh yes, professional development was a lot. I don't have the numbers with me, but yeah, there's a whole like plan for every stage of funding. There was an outline plan that was also on the CCBOE website, so anybody can look that information up. That is public information.
Sports, large portion of COVID funds allocated. So I mean,
Say what?
Allocated.
Large portion of COVID funding hasn't been spent. I'm not referring to allocated. No, ESSER 1 and 2 have pretty much been exhausted from what I recall. Now I have to go back, Angela. I can look at the website, like I said, but because I think some of ESSER 3 was not slated to be spent until school year 2022-2023, but it's been allocated. But I think 1 and 2 is exhausted. So those were the three main sources of funds that came out of COVID. So 1 and 2 is definitely gone. 1 was spent almost completely with the laptops. I remember that. That was almost completely exhausted with just the technology that we had to purchase for the kids to send them home virtually. So
you know the number of how much money it was?
Oh, I can't remember now. I mean, I could tell you the truth. Like,
well,
I can't remember. There were 3 batches. Yes, sir.
Pascal summer program professional development was $9 million.
Yeah, I mean, if Pascal has it up, she can. Yeah.
There was a link to it, so drop it in. Helpful for everybody.
Yeah. I don't remember. We were talking about this last year. I had fresh in my. I don't recall that for each part. So ESSER 1 looks like we got $3 million.
Yeah, we can drop an article in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, we got $3 million from 1. Yeah, it's all on the website. 13 looks like $13 million for the second, and then phase 3.
Yep, there it is. Thank you, Pascal.
Okay, great. Yeah, 30. So, and I think that's still what we have some left. Yeah, because it's going into 2025 for ESSER 3. So that's what I meant by allocated, Angela, but it hasn't been spent. But transportation for extended learning, for example, goes through 2025, and that's in ESSER 3. That's in the plans for the ESSER 3 funds. And the mic in and out again. Who's mic?
Oh, is that me? Is that me in and out? Let me know, everybody. Angela, there's another question here. I'm gonna run it with you.
Yes, we have been spending the money.
As far as ACT scores.
What about it?
Reports on it. That's her question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see it. What's the question?
Thoughts on recent ACT scores.
I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't see anything about that, Angela. Can you elaborate? Recent ACT scores. after COVID, once COVID hit, those were, they're optional now for most colleges and universities. So like my daughter graduated 2021 and it was optional to submit SAT or ACT. So I'm not familiar with what she's talking about. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maryland airport issues. Obviously, Carlos' question here with J.C. Parks too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Top of it, what's your thoughts on that? Is there anything we can do as far as that? Well,
I think this came.
lead. In specific questions, lead testing study.
I think this came up in a recent commissioner meeting that I watched where the delegates were there. And I think it was Delegate Wilson who said we should just go ahead and do the study, the lead study, to make everyone, feel better. I think, some of the commissioners felt like, there wasn't an issue. What is the mic is?
Oh, don't worry. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Okay. So anyway, so in the recent commissioner meeting, they talked about it. I agree with CT Wilson. Delegate Wilson said that, he thinks we should just go ahead and do the study if there's that much question about it. Some type of like baseline study, so that we can make, let's figure out if there is an issue that we need to be concerned with, because right now it's just going back and forth. The environmentalists are saying there's definitely an issue. We need to test the kids. And then the commissioners are saying there's no issue. They're creating an issue. So I think we should just go ahead and do some type of baseline test, so that we can get more information to see if we, need to act or if we, what we need to do.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm reading.
No, you came
Okay.
at the right time.
Yeah.
Stacey, you said you text me? I didn't have my phone on me for like
Okay.
a good portion of this podcast.
That's heavy.
Everything okay?
You know how they
I
are.
know
The
how
little
it-
people
I
are.
know it is. I know. I know.
One word person wants to see Coco Melon, the other Flippy. Now you got to defuse a volatile situation.
Got kids inside the house.
So Angela,
that
there
goes.
news report that the ACT scores are coming in lower than ever. Okay, I didn't see that, so I will take a look at that. But that doesn't surprise me, given the way that our reading and math scores are in school. That doesn't surprise me. Also, there wasn't a lot of preparation courses over the last couple of years because of COVID. So that that doesn't surprise me. And like I told Ricky, these last 2 years since COVID, 2.5 going on 3 years now, my daughter applied for college. She graduated 2021 from North Point, and the SAT or ACT scores were optional at that point.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to submit. Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. So
What type
there,
of precedent is that set?
I think it's because they knew that a lot of kids didn't have opportunity to take the test because of COVID. A lot of the SAT tests got canceled and the ACT test got canceled
During
throughout
COVID.
COVID. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
then when they applied to college, they wouldn't have scores. They made it
True.
optional for everyone because,
Wow.
and I don't know if that's continued for the 2022 graduates. I'm not sure. But I know up to 2020, it was optional.
Tough.
Let's read Stacey's question. Go ahead,
Facts.
Dev.
Okay.
What's your response when you read the gender identity and systematic oppression taught in schools, in family life and human sexuality section? And are you in agreement? It's buried in the blueprint. Do you think this should be brought to parents' attention, as it's very hard to find? Text exact section. Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay.
My bad. But yes, other than that,
So the gender identity, I'm not sure what the systematic oppression
or in
has
schools.
to do with gender identity.
Stacey,
Maybe Ricky, you can send that to me. But I will say about the
expound a little bit more, Stacey.
yeah. So
Stacey,
the
if you
gender
don't mind.
identity part, I think she may be, and Stacey, tell me if I'm incorrect. You may be talking about the identifying transgender students, pronouns and things like that, in family life or human sexuality education. I believe she and I talked about this before, and I've been asked this before by some other individuals. Basically, that there is some language in the new human sexuality curriculum at the state level that seeks, I believe, to be inclusive of transgender kids. So basically what it says is that, you know, you can refer to children or students as the pronoun that they prefer. Now, of course, I'm simplifying this, you know, but there's a whole curriculum, you know, about it. But basically, it was intended to be inclusive of those kids. So, but it's up to the local Board of Educations to decide how they want to implement it and if they want to implement it at all. And then at the teacher level, so for example, if you don't have a transgender child in your class, you don't need to address it. But it was meant to be inclusive so that how I understand it is meant to be inclusive. So if I do have a child in my class who say identifies as a different gender, then I can make them feel included by addressing that or educating the class on that. And of course, at an age appropriate level.
They offer these classes to adults too as well.
Yeah, they should. I don't know. I can't speak on that. But I think everyone is getting kind of in an uproar about it. Like they're going to, like the state of Maryland or the Maryland State Department of Education is saying that we need to teach our kids or ask them, do they want to be one gender or the other? I don't think it was intended for that. It's intended to be inclusive because the reality is we do have kids in school who identify as a different gender. And that's been happening for years. And so we want to be inclusive of these students and make them feel welcome, feel comfortable in school. And so that I think was the premise behind that, including that in the curriculum. Now, again, it's up to the local jurisdiction how they want to implement it, if they want to implement it at all. I haven't seen anything like that in Charles County. I know I told Stacey this before.
She says the opt-out only starts at grade 4.
Okay, well, I haven't verified that, so I'm not gonna speak on that. You've always been able to opt your kids out of. I mean, even when we were, y'all remember, but my mom had to sign a form, like when I took sex ed, you know, sex education. Yeah. So that's always opt out has always been an option. So I don't know why that would be taken away, particularly with younger kids. So Stacey, I can't verify that, so I'd have to look at that to see.
Maybe she means. Maybe she, correct me if I'm wrong, opt out. Maybe it means opting out of your child being exposed.
I think she's talking about, she's saying that you can't opt out or opt out starts at grade 4, but I don't think that's correct. I'm not sure. So I'd have to go back and look at that. But to my understanding, you could opt out at any time. And again, that is up to the local jurisdiction. So, and again, Charles County, I mean, my kid's in school. He's in 5th grade. I mean, you have kids here in school. Have you seen it? I haven't seen anything come home with my kid about, you know, any new, you know, gender discussions or human sexuality discussions or anything like that. And my son's in 5th grade. So.
Stacey, what's your thoughts on that? I'm curious.
That's okay. First box.
Curious.
Just in general, not. I mean, you have to hear, but just in general.
Teaching
that's what I'm saying. Well. I think it was just honestly to be of people, all people, you know.
And obviously, it goes without saying, being by all inclusive network.
This is just kind of how you rock.
Creeds, people,
absolutely.
shape, sizes, whatnot.
Yeah.
So if you have to live in this world, and you living with people that, especially at that age, that you may not understand, especially as a child.
Exactly.
And if someone can explain it to you from a non-biased perspective,
right,
then I don't really see an issue with that at all.
I disagree.
A non-biased perspective?
I don't think a non-biased perspective exists. I don't.
Well, if you just present the facts of the case.
I don't believe that. I think
it's rare, but it does.
Now, if it does exist, cool. I will totally retract my statement. Yeah. But I do believe that any argument on either side is inherently biased because you're either pushing one way or the other.
No, like say for example, if I'm a teacher and I identify as my birth gender, transgender, right. I identify as a woman. I was born, you know, whatever. And I have a kid class is a boy who identifies as
right,
you know, and I'm just simply teaching that there are and I don't know exactly how. I mean, teachers can do this however they feel is appropriate for, their age. But if I'm just teaching that, there are individuals may be born a certain gender, and then at some point in their life may feel like they identify more as a different,
Okay.
and just keep it basic like that.
It's like
see,
sex ed in high school. Like,
what? No,
just,
that's not saying you.
No, yeah,
I'm saying in general, you begin to start splitting hairs. If you say, "Hey, identity is one," hey, I'm cool with you identifying as something, but let's not preach identity as fact. That's where I'm.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
That's where my detraction comes, because there are groups that preach identity as fact.
Gotcha. No,
to our 4th, 5th, 3rd, down to kindergartners. Okay. They're saying what you identify as is in fact a fact. That's where I think you're starting to muddy the waters in early childhood development. Okay, now you get to high school, and I'm not saying high school age is okay, but at least at 18, you're beginning to develop that individuality, true individuality, where you are going to strike out on your own. But if you're saying that you're going to teach kindergartners to 5th graders, hey, let's bring that into the school system. Because I'm saying this, y'all haven't noticed this. Yo, truth bomb right now. Boom. I wish you had a bomb on the jump. Boom.
Oh, bomb. We're working on it. We got to create our own.
Yeah, I'm looking at to move into Charles County, right? So I'm asking questions as a future concerned parent of this county, not necessarily sure which district. But if you're talking about like parents or teachers or whatever, saying like, yo, whatever you identify it, fine across the board.
Right.
But let's have a conversation about saying that what you identify as is fact. Now that is a conversation that has to be brought up and say, yo, hey, what do you want to do as far? So there's a whole plethora of things that
No, I get what you're saying, that it could go into other
Yeah.
things. Obviously, kids
And
are going to have
that's what I'm
questions.
saying.
I feel like that's when they come home and they ask, their parents those questions.
Right.
Even when my kids took sexual education in school, they don't tell you very much. So, they come home, they had all kinds of questions, and there was a lot of stuff that got left out, that I felt was important. So, because like in school, okay, for example, I think in sex ed, they still teach just abstinence only, which we all know, may work for some, but that doesn't work for everyone. And if, you're in my mind, if my teenager is going to think about being sexually active, I wanted them to know how to protect themselves, but the school's not going to tell them that, you know what I mean? And so those are conversations I think then you have at home,
Right.
and you elaborate at home. I don't think this is, Stacey's saying she doesn't think it should be an opt-in. Well, you can opt out. So if you can opt out, then the thing is that I don't think that teaching someone to be inclusive of others is a bad thing. I think that's where it came. And also respecting that we're all different, right? And just like with religion, you can't, just because you may be Muslim or you may be, doesn't mean that, everyone else's religion is wrong, so your way, it may be right for your family, and that's fine. And that's what you do in your home, but you don't get to decide what gets taught to every other kid, in school. You know what I mean? Now you get to decide for your child. You can opt out your child, but that doesn't mean that we should change the entire curriculum just because there are a percentage of parents that opt out. That's why you have the opt out option.
True. Treat it like college. You choose the classes you pick and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as long as there's an opt out, I feel like as long as
at the end of the day, it's your kid. I mean, dude.
Exactly. As long as there's an opt out option, and like I said,
should.
that's always been the case. Though. Yeah. Even like back when we were in school, I remember my mom having to sign for us to talk about reproductive education.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my parents would sign the paper and whatever, because like I said, they didn't really tell us much anyway. I mean,
condom. Can I even go there? I was, the little Oh, the banana tree.
We didn't even get that. So, I mean, no.
Maybe being in D.C.
Oh, because they separated us, remember? They separated the girls and the boys. Back when I was in school, they separated us.
Got you.
Did they do that with you?
I don't remember that.
In D.C.? No, they didn't do that in
Well,
DC.
I went to school in PG County, in Prince George's County.
Really?
Yeah, and I think
I was
I
in
remember
DC,
them
so that-
separating until high
I don't
school.
remember that either.
Now, high school, we
no.
were all in one class.
Right,
but I
right,
mean, like
right,
in,
right.
I
Junior
guess,
high school?
like
No.
sixth grade or
Junior high
middle
school?
school or
High
whatever.
school, I remember that one. Yeah.
No,
I went
high
to
school, we were all
Paul.
together.
Yeah.
But
all inclusive. And
Yeah.
they just did the whole thing in front of everybody.
in elementary school? or middle school?
It was junior high. So
Okay.
like, what's that?
Like sixth or seventh grade?
eighth.
Okay.
Jesus, elementary.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
No.
That's a lot.
No, I was just wondering. I'm
That's
just
a
like,
lot.
no, they definitely didn't go through that in elementary school. But I remember whatever we did talk about was mostly like reproductive type things and talking about the body parts, anatomy, stuff like that.
Facts.
And they separated us.
Okay.
Because the boys
Okay.
went to one class and the girls went to another. And then in high school, yes, we were all together.
But yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Get us some comments too. Well, Stacy, I decide what other topics appropriate to teach. The parent does.
Well, like I said, you can opt out as long as there's an opt-out option for the parents. I think that, we cover everyone's bases.
Facts.
Gender identity is not a part of basic education. So here's the one thing I will say, that if you're in the 5th grade thing,
Yeah.
and there's a transgender child in the classroom,
Yeah.
you got to address it. You
That's
have to say something.
exactly. And
Now,
that's
it could either be positive, a part of a curriculum, or it can come out all sorts of different ways.
right. And the
let
thing
up to the
is,
interpretation of the child.
Does the kid
around
have to
them.
know though?
You can tell, man.
Not, bro.
You can tell sometimes.
These
you can tell.
surgeries are starting earlier and earlier though. You feel me?
That's a good point.
They're starting hormones treatments earlier
what
and
if the person
earlier.
wants to say it? What does the kid child wants to say?
Okay, if the kid wants to say it
And then
and the
the-
parents cool with it, is one thing. But just to come
can't stop a child
walking
from
in
saying it.
there, and
Stop that.
only thing this is only known to the teacher, the kid's probably not even gonna know
Well, it's
the
not
difference.
for the teacher to say anything in that case.
No,
But
I'm saying, like,
child
the
says
teacher
something, Then what are you
knows.
gonna do?
Well, you got to address it, like you said. You got to address it.
and I think that's,
Ooh, that's tough.
that's.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, it
Yeah,
has
that's
to be.
tough.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I understand.
And
like,
I agree
a
with
part
Rick,
of a
like-
That's
curriculum
tough.
It has to at least be there so you
Yeah.
understand it.
And I agree with
It's a
what you're
world we
saying,
live
like
in.
in
Yeah,
a
true.
in an
Very
educational
true.
environment, in a seemingly as much as you can be non-biased, way.
Facts.
Because think about it, if you're teaching it, now I agree with you. When parents are teaching at home, we're totally biased
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we're
yeah.
teaching our kids based on our own beliefs. You know what I mean?
You're giving a lot of credit to teachers that
I mean, I
maybe
get
you
you.
should.
I get what you're
But
saying, because
you
some of
are.
them may be infusing their own beliefs as well.
There you
I
go.
get what you're saying, but I don't. Yeah, I guess I'm erring on the more positive side to say that most of them are there to educate,
Facts.
and they're not putting their
Ooh,
beliefs in.
I see what you're
It's
saying.
just from an
As an
educational standpoint. As an
educator.
educator, yes, I'm
It doesn't
saying.
matter what it is.
It doesn't
You're
matter what it
there
is.
to-
I'm
okay,
there to
you know
educate.
what? I can get with that. If you're operating from an educator's
Yes, absolutely,
standpoint.
yes. Just educating
I
you.
get it.
Non-biased.
I don't like it, but I get it. I do get it.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
get it. All right, I give you
Good.
that.
See,
yeah,
look at
I
that.
can get that from an educator
Standpoint.
Okay, I give you
Mhm.
that. All right, no doubt. No doubt.
And also, like I said here too as well. I'm not gonna read every single comment, but if you
Mhm.
don't want your child to
Opt out.
yeah, just
Yeah, you just opt out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's all. I think as long as that's an option, then we're covered,
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
and
I think
and like
so.
I said, it's
I
not here
agree.
yet. My son's in 5th grade. It's not. It's not here. Yes, I know the curriculum exists. It was written at the state level. And again, they left a lot of autonomy from the State Department of Education for local jurisdictions to implement how they felt was appropriate for their areas, for their county. Obviously in some counties it may be more prevalent than others, and so you may have to address it.
I got
You know,
I got you. Okay.
no
All right.
option to opt out before 3rd grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade. I know Stacey was saying this too. as
someone said
well.
4th grade. I think Stacey said 4th grade,
Yeah.
and now somebody is saying 3rd. Now she's saying 3rd grade. So again, Stacey, I would have to look up the rules on opt out. I just read the curriculum, so I am not 100% sure on what the opt-out rules are, but I don't think that there is not an option to opt out at any point. So I'll have to take a look at that.
Okay. Okay.
Fourth grade is when the opt-out option is.
Option is opt-out option. What?
This where you can actually opt out of it too as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You can choose.
To me, that doesn't
Okay,
make sense
okay.
that you wouldn't be able to opt out the younger kids, but you can the older kids.
Well, that's a policy you will look to.
Of course, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it has to make sense. You know, it has to make sense. Yeah, but that doesn't seem. I'm just using my own. Doesn't make sense. If at any point took out an opt out, to me, it would for the older kids, not for younger kids. But again, I can't speak on it because I don't know. I haven't seen any language about not being able to opt out at a certain grade. I haven't seen that myself, so I need to take a look at that.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. That is definitely a slippery slope. Rick, I don't know if you want to move on to the next topic or.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, different people exist.
Exactly.
Facts. It's
And
a
that's what I'm
fact of
saying.
our
And we got to live
society.
together. We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
live together. And don't you want to teach your children
it's
to be
amazing,
inclusive, to be respectful of all?
Yeah.
Like I said, I always put it back to religion because that's something people can relate to. All of us, practice, variations of religion or no religion. And so, when you go to school, you learn about all of those things, and it doesn't mean that if you were raised Buddhist in your family that all of a sudden because you go to school and you learn about Islam that you're going to convert or whatever. It's from an educational standpoint,
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you are who you are.
It
Exactly.
is what it is.
You're going to be what you be.
You're going to be what you're going to be.
Facts.
I
And
agree. I agree. And as much as people try to shelter their children from learning about other ways of life.
Shelter children.
Believe me.
I think the states.
Wild.
I think the states in general, like the U.S. of A, we probably have them sheltered because we try to keep certain things from.
And there's no way to do that. There's just no way to do that.
Even though we're a melting pot, I think we struggle to kind of.
I think certain populations, yes. For me, I always
let it
wanted.
melt, baby.
I always wanted
This
my
is who
kids
we are.
to learn, to learn about all cultures, all religions, all from an education standpoint.
Facts,
And then when they
facts.
become adults, then they can decide what's best
From
for
that
them.
point
You
on.
know?
Don't
Yeah.
as parents, try not to influence.
Exactly, because I want to have a child that's a free thinker. When they grow up,
Facts.
they can make their own decisions because I'm not
No
going to be there
doubt.
forever to make decisions for them.
You gotta be able to
Exactly. Absolutely.
look at Nicole pushing the kids to think on their own 2 feet in the education system.
Listen,
I like
that's what they're there for, right? I mean, cool.
What time is that?
it is.
Oh, wow.
8:54.
Look at
We
us.
good. Yeah.
Moving. Question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned policy earlier. What's some other policy ideas that you have that you like to bring to the
Definitely the bullying policy really needs to be looked at.
what's the current?
Policy has a process that essentially has no oversight. So you have a form that is also sent to kids at the beginning of the school year, a paper form. But it's online and you can fill it out as a parent and then it's directly to the principal at the school. Within 48 hours, the principal is supposed to investigate and then respond to you in some way. The outcome, how they're going to separate the kid that's bullying, whatever the case, whatever they're going to do. But many parents have told me that that is not what happens. That they don't, sometimes they don't get called. Well, they have to follow back up with the
Really?
Oh yeah.
So I've heard
Okay.
that. I've heard that a
That's
lot.
tough.
And with all the other conflicts that's going, I feel like that's really important to address. And with all the mental health, concerns that are
Facts.
going on, you're not helping, our kids with their mental health if they're going on being bullied.
Brilliant.
That's just compounding the problem. So I really would like to look at that. And I also think that would be, say, an easy fix, but something that we could address quickly and try to make some impact faster than some other things that may take longer.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I'd like to, kind of get the low hanging fruit, so to speak, and I feel like that would make a large impact and not be that difficult to do. And when I get in there, might be a different story. It may be harder than I think, but to me, it seems like I can, as a member of the public, point out where some holes are that we could probably try to fix pretty quickly. So, not that it's going to fix all the bullying problems, but at least have a process in place that works the way it's intended to. And it needs to have some oversight to make sure that someone at the central office who's responsible for overseeing policy actually does and holds the principal accountable.
Holding the principals accountable.
That was if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Ricky. That was a big thing that we were talking about the last time, as far as like bullying. Like, was that not like a point?
Oh yeah,
not a point of contention, but that was like a big thing.
Yeah, it still is. Yeah.
Going nowhere.
Yeah. I got into a whole there was a group created on Facebook last year. Parents Against Bullying, and a lot of them, I talked to them and they shared their stories with me, and there were a lot of similarities in each of them. Different schools, different grades, different kids, girls, boys, and a lot of them had similarities, and a lot of it had to do with the process that followed.
There's no secret that certain members of the community are dissatisfied with certain current school board members. Now we're talking about bullying. What is your detraction as far as how they have addressed bullying versus how you plan to address bullying?
I think oversight is the big thing. So right now, what happens typically, what I heard from a lot of parents is that they're referred back to the school to deal with the principal or deal with the issue. But if it's the school that you can't get to respond to you, or you can't get to return your calls or your emails or things like that, then at that point it needs to be escalated. And that's where I think there will be oversight. And there is someone who's responsible at the central office level that is responsible for those type of policies and interventions. And I feel like having some type of oversight policy written in or as an addendum to policy to make sure that, okay, if the principal is supposed to follow up with the family or with the parent within 48 hours, are you auditing to making sure that happens? Are you surveying parents satisfied with the way that this was handled? Is the bullying still happening? 3 months later, maybe, or a month later, follow up with the family. Hey, how are things? Has the situation been resolved? Is there more to be done? Whatever the case, because from what I've heard, they submit the form. Sometimes there's a conversation with the school, sometimes and nothing.
Tough. That's tough, bro.
It's every school has this issue.
Of course.
Every
And
school system in America.
Absolutely.
But the best we can do as far as oversight and try to at least combat the issue.
Yeah.
As best we can.
That's all I'm saying. And yes, I'm not saying that this is unique to Charles County because
Kreamer's about to solve bullying.
Hey, listen.
Listen. If she has a plan,
I'm gonna
solve
try my best.
Share it nationwide.
Listen, I'm gonna try my very best. That's one thing that I can guarantee is that if issue is brought to me, I'm going to do my very best to investigate. First of all, because I don't react to things. I investigate first. It's important. You can't just react to things. If I don't have all the information, I need to gather it. I need to talk to get all of the facts, and then from there with my colleagues discuss it, try to come to a solution, a reasonable solution that I think the parent I think that's what that would be, doing our due diligence as board members.
Like I said, there's no oversight happening. There is oversight in place. It's just not very good.
Right. And so
I've dealt with it directly. It's not good. Not good. It's there, kind of.
True speak, my guy.
Yeah, it's not there. That makes so. Comment section, not talking. I'll let y'all keep going back and forth. Hey, leave the stream on this one is open after we finish too as well.
Facts.
Just talk.
Leave it open because look, we're going to encourage you all. Keep the conversation going. Even though we're done, keep it going. This is beautiful tonight. First of all, because it's all about the kids. It's all about, you know what I'm saying, the education within Charles County. So we love it. But yo, if y'all got more to say, don't stop, because me and Rick, we do read these comments.
Yeah, and I'll go back and read because I couldn't catch everything, guys.
Once we go off a live, Nicole will. We know that. We will hold her to the fire. She will. Keep the comments going because tonight's like a dope conversation, especially when it comes to our kids. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And you all know you can reach me. You know, I'm very reachable. I'm on Facebook. You have email, you know, even I think many of you have my phone number. So reach out, reach out to me for sure. Because, of course, these are important issues. And I'm not saying that we're going to be able to solve everything, even, you know, in a 4-year term, you know, but I think that making an effort, trying to take steps to go in the right direction is what the community just wants to see. You know, we want to see some movement on some things that have kind of been stagnant for a while.
Campaign wise, where can we find you at next?
Yes, so October has been crazy, and I have several more things coming up. So tomorrow I will be at the Hispanic Heritage celebration with Strong Schools Maryland. So I'll have a table there because I'm also a team leader. That will be at the festival, the Shops at Festival Way in Waldorf,
what
right
time?
Out 12 to 5.
Hey.
Yep, 12 to 5. So I'll be there. So come on and stop by.
Great
and
team behind that too as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friends of the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Great committee that has put this together and in the community, and just excited for it. This is the closeout celebration. So it should be great. I know there's going to be food trucks. Tell me if I miss anything, Pascal. So food trucks. I know there's going to be vendors, entertainment. So there's going to be some dancers and a band. I mean, all the things. So it should be a great time.
Facts.
Should be a great time. So I will be there tomorrow. And then next Saturday, I am co-hosting a trunk or treat at the Grill 13.
Nice. Yo,
Yeah.
Trunk or treat?
Trunk or treat, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah,
Grill 13
I
absolutely.
love
solid,
trunk or treats.
girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do enjoy them.
Yeah.
The
So bring the kids.
as well.
It's free.
I got there my little basket too as well.
A little buggy. What you call it? A buggy or a
buggy.
cart or a
Buggy.
basket? What do we call it?
In
right
the
now?
South, they call them buggies.
Let's take a poll. Right?
Yeah. In the South, I know they call them buggies because I was in South Carolina
Definitely.
before. They call them buggies. We call them carts here. But
Carts.
in the
Definitely
South, it's
shopping
buggies.
cart.
Yes.
Definitely buggy.
But yeah, trunk or treat is free. You can
pumpkin.
just register. Register the kids. We just need to know how many kids. So we're up to like 250, I think, point
Well, that's
registrations.
Over 30 vendors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, tomorrow.
30
Yeah.
vendors.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome tomorrow. So definitely come out.
What's the times? Did you give that?
Tomorrow
I may
is
have
12 to
missed it.
5.
12 to 5?
At the Hispanic Heritage at the
Facts.
Shops at Festival Way, the big parking lot where we do the
Okay.
First Fridays. And then next Saturday, the 22nd, is 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Yep. And I have all the flyers and everything on my Facebook page. So if anybody needs that
You're sharing them.
information, it's there.
You shared it to BNY.
I think I did too. Yeah.
So we're good.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then also
know
we're
Ruby's
having a mental health community conversation next Sunday.
Another one. You've done those a couple times.
Yep. So I'm not speaking. Actually, Kat Young, who's in the comments, she's one of the speakers, and it's
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's
All right.
she has a nonprofit. I don't know if is she. I think I told you about her. Did
Maybe
I tell
so.
you?
Great
Okay.
job, Kat.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so she, I'm just co-sponsoring with a few
Okay.
other members of the community, but there are going to be some speakers about, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and also Depression Awareness Month and Anxiety Awareness Month. So a lot of mental health acknowledgement going on this month, and so this is going to talk about domestic violence and relationships, but also there's going to be a segment on teen relationships. And so we really want, parents and community members to come out and bring your dating
in the curriculum?
age. This is not a school sanctioned event, although CCPS has been invited and they will be in attendance. But yes, if you have anyone who's dealing with depression or anxiety in your life, and you want to bring them out, and if you have teens who are dating age, if you want them to learn about some signs to recognize,
No, I'm
domestic
sorry, I
violence.
didn't.
Yep, Kat. She's one of the speakers. So Kat is one of the
Yeah.
speakers.
Okay.
So we have a whole flyer out. I think I sent you that too.
Mhm.
There's going to be 3 speakers, really great speakers that are going to come out, and that's next Sunday at the JC's from 3:30 to 6.
What's
So
up?
Got it. Not JC's. Okay. Got it.
yeah,
All right,
that's at
easy,
JC's.
easy.
Yep. So again, I have all the information. If anybody needs it, all these are free events. Free events
Just
to come
kinda
out.
show up. And
Yep. We
be a
do
part.
ask for the trunk or treat that you register your kids, just so we know how many kids. And there's an Eventbrite for that, but it's free. We just need to know how
Eventbrite.
many. Yep.
Okay.
And the
Alright.
mental health matters too, because we have limited space, so we need to know how many people
Okay.
are coming. But that's also through Eventbrite. So
Okay,
No doubt.
Kat. All right, Kat. You got to come through BNY sometime.
yeah,
I'm about to
I
say,
talked to
Kat-
her about it.
Kat
so
coming through right now. Come through, Kat.
Yeah. She's got a
talk to
plethora
us.
of knowledge about mental health, trauma informed services, like she said, restorative practices. She also has a program at JP Ryan that she works with ages grades 3 to 5 on. It's a suspension aversion program, and that's a program I'd like to see across the county. So
Okay.
kids who I think it's like tier 3 are eligible for tier 3, like disciplines, which would be suspensions, things like that.
Mhm.
They're referred to her to kind of try to avert, divert them from getting suspended. And
Some hell of a stories.
she works
You're
with
gonna hear a
them,
lot.
and
Yeah.
she worked
You
with them last
definitely-
year, and she's back this year, and she is great at that, and she made a huge impact. I heard that Ryan had a huge reduction in the number of referrals from 2021, well, whatever not last year, but the year before that.
20.
Yeah, the year that they were in school.
Right.
From last year when she was there, to the last time that they were. Her program has really made a huge impact. So
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Kat definitely
Big
deserves
thing.
kudos
Okay, you
for
definitely
that.
got to come on.
Yes.
Kat said yes. Look at that.
Yep.
She say yes.
Mhm.
Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. Yep.
Let's make it happen.
We'll talk from there.
Yeah.
What's next for
And that'll take me through. There is a forum also. The
Yeah.
NAACP is hosting another candidate forum for District 3, 4, and at large. And that will be on Monday, October 24th. It's a week that early voting begins. And that will be at the Waldorf West Library, but they also stream it on Zoom too. So that will be the last forum, I think, that I will be at. So, but if you want to talk to me anytime, reach out. But I will be, like I said, at all of those events. So feel free to come out and, talk, ask me any questions. I feel like at this point, everybody's asked me pretty much everything that they could ask me. But if you have anything else left, I'm open to it. Feel free to come out. And then early voting, of course, starts October 27th. So if you're not registered, please get registered to vote. You can. Maryland does offer same day registration, but you have to bring proof of residency and things like that to the polls. But please, if you're not registered, make sure you're registered, and make sure that you're registered in the correct district, because that's super important for Board of Education. So if you moved in the county, you want to make sure that you can elect the representatives for Board of Ed that are in your district. So if you haven't updated your voter registration with your current address, you want to make sure you do that. And so early voting starts on October 27th through November 3rd, and I will be there every day. So
you're approaching this as a full-time job. School board.
it has been seemed like the campaign has been a full-time job, that's for sure. But I do have another full-time job. So I'm also a parent. That's another. So I feel like I have
another full-time job.
2 full-time jobs. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm
Never
really,
ends.
I just think that I'm taking it seriously, like you should. It's, our kids, and what's more important than that. And me having a child in the school system currently, I'm as deeply invested, and so I just hope that comes across and that other parents can resonate with that. And, I want to be a parent of because, as you know, our current board, there's only 2 members that currently have children school system, and I felt like it's important to have parents represented, because if your child is my age, things have changed, quite a bit, and you don't know what's going on day to day because you're not getting the emails. Your kid's not coming home telling you what's happening in school. Mine is, I'm going to the open house. I'm going to the back to school nights, the, school events. I'm seeing what's happening. If you're not, if you don't have a child in the school system, it's very hard to know, what's going on a day-to-day basis. Exactly.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense.
Hey, I'm all for it. Amber, this girl's this girl is
on
fire. Hey.
Where the light is at? Where the light is at, baby? Where the light is
Ain't know about
at?
that.
That's my girl. Amber has,
know about
look,
that
y'all, she is worked so hard. She has been working on my campaign, and she has been amazing. So she's helped me tremendously with so many things. So my whole team is just great. I couldn't have asked for a better team to help me. So this is everyone's, it's a group effort, family effort.
Nice shout out to the team.
Facts.
Speaking of us, we got a team coming on the podcast here soon too. Monday, Team 28.
October 17th?
That's right.
Oh.
No, wait. Today's 14th. Yes, the 17th.
Yeah,
Okay.
October
She'll
17th.
talk to Marquita Bush.
Oh, right,
Yep. Both of them
okay.
be on the podcast
All right.
as well.
Facts.
I
Been a
know
long
what.
time coming.
Jinx.
That's how you know.
Hey.
Me and this guy is in sync.
It was supposed to happen back in April.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, really?
Things got mixed up, and we ended up having Chris on the podcast that day.
Okay.
So.
I've met
Yeah.
them both,
Yeah.
Michelle
Yeah.
and Marquita. Marquita briefly, but Michelle I've met several times and had conversations
Facts.
They
with
gonna
her.
bring some
So.
good energy into
Yeah,
the building.
that's all
No,
BNY
you're
asked
great.
for.
Nothing gets.
Oh,
I'm saying
alright.
it's slight.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's a nice conversation that's been full of energy. So no.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I try to
No,
bring
nothing.
nothing but all the energy.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. We have definitely enjoyed it.
Oh,
But
tonight was dope. Yeah.
what's Monday?
Monday, yeah, Marquita.
What time?
Marquita
7:30?
and Michelle, 7:00
7 o'clock.
Okay.
here in BNY.
Okay.
BNY.
Is that it?
Evidently-
Is that it for October or?
No, evidently we got another podcast. We got Carlos.
Oh, Carlos.
I guess
okay.
Carlos.
That's
question 4.
Oh, you said non-political at
Yeah,
that point, though.
but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. Maybe Carlos versus Angela
I
talking
might
about
have
weed.
to. I might have to
Live
come
on
in
the
here.
podcast.
Oh,
more
gosh.
That one.
stoned.
Oh God, is Angela
Have a
again?
debate night.
They're debating it. Okay.
Hey, oh man.
Oh, gosh.
Not funny.
yeah,
yeah.
they're going at it. Okay.
Yep, and then we got Christy. She'll be on the podcast on 24th too as well.
24th. Yeah.
Yeah.
24th.
Yeah.
And then that kind of closes out our October.
We're not doing anything on Halloween, the 31st.
No, we're gonna be out with the fams.
Oh, there's something I would love to do on the 27th.
Here you go.
I'm
see,
still
see how you always
no
like,
28th. I apologize.
how you pop stuff up on me.
I gotta talk to you about
Just
this.
pops it
No,
up.
we talked
He's like,
about
oh,
this.
by the way.
No, we talked about this.
By the way, while we're on air.
Look, hey,
My brother. This is what my brother does. He used to.
hey, yeah, Leftwich, yeah, we got Christy on here. She coming on. Appreciate Michael Leftwich for helping set that up too as well. The man is more than just Facebook comedian.
Are you talking about that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay, no doubt.
Yeah, he
I
said
thought you
he
talking about
helped set that
something.
one up. No,
Okay,
no.
bro, we got enough on our plate.
But the 28th though, the 28th.
Facts.
Trying to work something. All right. Trying to keep it in the spirit of the holiday.
Facts.
So we'll
Facts.
yeah, we'll see.
I'm intrigued.
More to come.
We're
More
doing,
to come.
We're doing a live seance on BNY.
Okay.
Yeah, bring your Ouija boards.
Oh,
Hey, negative.
listen.
Hey, I'm gonna be here for that one.
I'm gonna
Tell
tell you who
right now.
not gonna be present.
Listen. No. No, sir.
Special viewing of Paranormal Activity live.
Negative.
Live.
Listen.
A costume
podcast.
podcast.
Hey,
You
that's
know what,
good.
Stacey? I'd be
done that.
down for that.
That's
Hey,
a
look,
good idea.
Hey, look, real quick in the comment section before we cut off all comments, y'all let us know what me and Rick should dress up for Halloween.
I'm not wearing a pumpkin, man.
Bro, you
I'm not
come
with the
on,
little hat
dog.
too as
You
well.
can't go
With
against
the-
what does the public
Oh
want?
gosh. Oh gosh.
Let's take a vote,
Listen,
baby.
Stacey, don't do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a vote, baby.
Amber said, Dev, Nicole does that to me all the time.
Exactly.
Wear your onesie. Hey, I'm telling you, during Christmas season, I'm telling you.
Oh,
you gonna
Christmas
see it.
season.
Yeah.
I love a good onesie. They're so cute.
I got one.
Solid.
Yeah.
It's solid.
Mr.
You can't go
Leftwich been
wrong with a
laughing ever
onesie.
since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's warm.
They do have costume
It's
ones.
a little cold in the shed. You know.
Yeah.
Not with that guy right there. The
No,
heater.
no,
Definitely
for
not.
sure.
This little heater we got over here.
The aesthetic.
Yeah.
No, that thing is working overtime over there.
Facts.
Ladybug and butterfly. I got just
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, see
see.
now, not when you
What
open
does
it
the
up
public
that
want? There's that shit right there.
My bad. Within reason, okay.
Like a wrestler from the 90s. Wear your pumpkin. I'm not wearing it. I'm not
Pumpkin. Oh, God.
Dad was talking about for himself, all right?
I know. Hey, hold on.
Look, hey, you know what I'm going to get back to the suits. That's what I'm going to do.
No. Oh, you talking about the jackets and stuff, like
Yeah.
winter suits?
I'm wear all black. With
That's
the
not
little,
what we're gonna do
with the
for
little
Halloween,
gold
bro.
chain.
No,
That's
we
what I'm
got
gonna
to do something for the pub. We
got
got
to be Skip Bayless. I wear all black
outside
with the gold
of.
chain.
Are you gonna wear the face paint, like the Dave Chappelle face paint?
Look, man,
Look,
hey, Freddie,
let's close
and
it out.
Jason.
Look, let's close it out because we look Nicole. I'm gonna say this right now. I know Ricky going to hit me on the back end. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Pleasure for
Always
me,
a pleasure.
Batman and Robin.
Likewise. Oh, my gosh.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah,
You
absolutely
being on
been
the
amazing.
show, coming through,
Been amazing.
talking
Yep.
to us. We appreciate it. We love it. The public certainly does because they be fully engaged.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys
Thank you for being
tuning
here.
in. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it so much. What you guys are doing here is amazing. Really appreciate you here in Charles County for sure.
Hey, these Friday night podcasts, hey, it's not
Kind of
bad.
solid.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Not-
solid.
Which I've been sipping on tonight, too, as well.
Facts.
I know,
Y'all been,
right?
y'all been a little
Don't
bit
ask
lively
me.
in that comment section. Yeah. Some of that
Oh
thug
my
passion.
God, Michael. I can't deal with him.
Nah,
Don't do blackface,
Oh,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
I know, Michael.
Wait
Lefferts.
a
I cannot-
second.
I
Hey, put
cannot
this man
deal
on
with
a
him.
30 on a
Yo,
30-hour
wait,
ban.
do we got like a ban? Like
Yeah.
a pause for
Hey, $100 take this man
suspension.
outside the county of Charles. All right, you can bring him back the next day. Just
he's
one day.
He's on the next pause suspension. He got the one pause suspension because Mike.
Oh
No,
my God.
Mike,
no,
we
he's
love
too
you.
much fun.
We love you. We love you, Mike. We love.
Avon string a bell.
Oh,
This is when we have fun. This is when we
exactly.
have fun.
It's a
Absolutely.
blast. Yeah.
Yo,
Okay.
Nicole, shout out
Nicole,
to you,
appreciate it
your
again.
platform.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
But yep, we'll be live Monday.
Monday,
Yep.
7:30,
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock we'll go live.
All right.
7-ish.
I'll be
And
tuned
you
in.
know, Anderson
Around
on that
there.
one, all right? You got me.
I'll be
all right?
tuned in, guys. I will definitely be
Definitely,
listening for
definitely.
sure.
Thank everyone that tunes in to us. All the support. We appreciate you all.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank
That
you, guys.
Bonaparte play. What's going on with you?
Yo, another day in the lab, baby. So it's always a good day.
Oh,
It's always a good day when we in the lab. You want policing to be better in your communities? The best policing that you can that can happen in any community are people that's actually from the community and that.
Once again, Rick, host BNY Podcast, now known as What Effing Week with BNY Dev. How you feeling, man?
I'm in here.
What's good, comment section?
Here.
Do we drag our people down when sometimes they don't deserve it? For sure, absolutely. In this situation, this man deserves every single dragging that we can do because this is not an example of us.
But you got the angles. You got the knowledge of the game, bro.
This is where you're getting at the IQ.
On it, down. Like he's telling you what's going on. He was a bad husband. He was just doing things his way. He's apologizing to his wife, like, yo.
Pat ourselves on the back for that one because if you ain't give yourself awards, I mean, who is?
Yeah, no boy.
Hey.